And hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Alright, so today we're yet again going to read from a file, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. So here in my folder with all of my Delphi projects, I'm going to show you guys how to read from a file which has things like commas and stuff in it. So let's just run this blank page so we can just get that out of the way. Alright, so here's your blank form. Now that we have that, we should have, yes, there 132 file. Now I forgot to add this, so just give me a second. Alright, so here in gamers.txt, I have 4 names and the people whose names are their age. So Josh Hendricks, he will be 18. Lana Xum, he'll be 16. Kai Maggie will be 21. And Lily Zeller will be 10. They're all gamers. Now just copy that, go into the Win32 folder, into debug, and just paste it there so it can read the project file. Or you know what, let me teach you guys how to navigate the file system with Delphi. Okay, so it's deleted. Just make sure you guys know that file is deleted. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a button and 2 rich edits. So let's have a button and then a rich edit and then another rich edit. Of course you can use a memo if you want. I just highly recommend using a rich edit. Okay, we just put this next to each other and I'll design while you guys watch. Alright, so here we have a button called BTN display, 2 rich edits, which one of them is called junior and one of them is called senior. Now basically what's going to happen is, let's just go here. Alright, so if they are younger than 18, they will appear in the junior rich edit. If they are older than 8, or if they're 18 or older, like Kai and Josh, they will be in the senior. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to just open up display or BTN display. We can go variables and then we have T names. Now this can actually be anything like T file, which I actually prefer. I'd rather go T file, but it's up to you. I just prefer T file. So you can go T name, and that is a text file. We use Ctrl D and Ctrl S. Alright. So basically this is just to say we're going to have a variable that can be assigned to a specific text file. Unfortunately you can't put a string as a text file as far as I know, but text files it's pretty possible. Then you have sLine, sName, alright, good. sLine, sName, which is a string. Alright, so we're going to use sLine to read a line and sName to get the name. Then we can go IPOS and IAge, which are both integers. Alright, so let's continue. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to clear both of the rich edits, because if we're going to print the lines and we're going to click multiple times on this button, we don't want it to just continue going downwards of the names repeating themselves. For example, let's say the program lags for some reason, and you're going to press this button 5,000 times because the program is lagging and you don't like it. Then it's just going to paste a bunch of things, and it's just going to be very inconvenient for the user on the other side. So you can go, oopsie, red junior.lines.clear, or you can go red senior.clear. Both of these does exactly the same thing. I don't think one of them does something that the other one doesn't, because they both clear the rich edit. I personally like this top one because it clarifies more what you want to do. Not that it really matters that much in this scenario, but you know. Then what we want to do is we're gonna want to go red junior.lines.add, and then we just want to go junior gamers. This is just to clarify that the people in this rich edit are the junior gamers, and with this one we can go sorry about that, I forgot you can't do that in Delphi. What I mean is, let's go here. Now, normally in an IDE like this, you can have 2 or even more cursors, which you can do whatever you want. But for example, let's say we need to do 2 lines of the same thing. Echo hello, for example. Oh, whoopsie, didn't do that. You see? And instead of just doing one, you can do multiples at the same time. That's what I mean. Anyways, so now we have clarified what we are going to do. Now, another thing we might want to add is just a plus hashtag 13. Now, what this does is this goes to the next line. It's like an enter. This is basically enter. What you could also do as an alternative is you can go red why do I do that? Red senior.lines.add and just do that, because that will add an open line. Oh wait, sorry, this is my fault. Yeah, this does go to the next line, but we want there to be an open line. So what we can again do is you can go hashtag 13. This will have the same effect as this one right here. It will press enter 2 times. Alright, so let's go. Okay, so here is where the things start. Now, what I'm going to be doing now, it isn't generally necessary to do that. Usually in an exam, you won't lose marks if you don't do it like I'm going to do now. So you can go try, and you can go reset. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we do that, we actually got to assign the file or the variable to the file. So we can go assign file, and as you can see, it first wants the file, and then it first wants the variable if the open file, that's variable, and it wants the file name, which is a string. So what we want to do is we're going to want to go t file and then the name of the file. Now the name of the file in this case is gamers.txt. If gamers.txt was in here, we could have just said gamers.txt, but because it is outside, you should also just consider that the file will not always be outside of this Windows 32 file or the debug file, but in this case it is, so we're going to go and search for it there. Now let's see if this works, because I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it out yet, but I do really want to test it out. So point slash point slash. This in a basic computer language, this means go back to files. For in case if we open up the terminal or the console, I believe, CMD, then if we go to the documents. Alright, so here we are in user Steve documents. If we go point slash, as you can see there, then you can see we went back. We went from documents back to Steve. Now if we do that again, see, we go even back, even more back. So this is basically what it means. I don't know if it does work in Delphi, it should. And as you can see, we are 2 file folders back. So we are in here. So since we're here, it's point slash file name. So it would be gamers.txt. Whoopsie. Remember the extension .txt. This is actually very important. We can save that. And now that we have assigned the file, we can finally do this. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta reset and then t file. What this does, it moves the cursor to the top of the file. So let's say Delphi opens up the file and the cursor is here. You see that thing that blinks? That's the cursor. Now if you say reset, it does that. So now the cursor is there. Because if it's going to be here and it's going to read, it's going to start here. We don't want it to start here. We want it to start here from the top. So we reset, because this is a problem if someone tries and click the button again and they try and run it again. Because then the cursor is here. It's not going back to the top automatically. So we have to tell it, go back to the top. We want you there, and then read from there. Alright, and then we can just add accept there instead of finally, and then show message. Could not find gamers.txt. So this is basically, if you watch my previous video, this means try and find this file, try and reset t file. And if it can't reset t file, do this. Ooh, sorry about that. Do this. Tell them this. Because we can assign the file, but that doesn't mean it's going to give an error. It would actually be best practice if we were to do this and do that, because this will make sure that if it can't assign the file, if an error does pop up, we will see it first before anything else. Alright, and then we can just exit the program. Alright, now that we have that, we can finally start reading. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta go while not end of file t names. Now this not does not need that. We can do that, but I prefer having it like this. So, but you don't need it. We can even remove it if you guys don't want it there. T file. So I'm reading from the book. Alright. So basically this is while it's not the end of file, while the cursor is not here, read. So if the cursor is here, it's going to read. If it's here, it's going to read. If it's there, it's going to read. But as soon as it gets here, it's going to stop the program, because then it doesn't need to read any further, because we don't want an infinite loop. Add your begin and end. That's always good practice. Control D, Control S, and then go read line. Now this is going to store the text inside of a line into a variable. So we can go T file and then S line. So basically it's going to store everything. When I say read line, what it's going to do is going to take this and store it inside of S line. That's what it's going to do. So read store inside of S line. Okay, then we have I pause, and it becomes pause and then comma S line. Now what I'm telling it to do is I'm telling it find the position of this character inside of S line. So what it's going to do is going to check, is this a comma? No, it's not. Is this a comma? No, it's not. Is this a comma? No, it's not. Until it gets here. Is this a comma? Yes, it is. So it's going to go up until here. That is now going to be I pause. So it's going to store the position of this one in I pause. For example, position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This one is in position 13. Why don't we just tell it it's in position 13? Because you don't always know. This one will change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11. It's around there. So it will change constantly. Now, its name, is it just name? No, it's its name. Its name becomes its line. Sorry about that. Becomes copy its line from position 1 to I pause minus 1. Okay, what I'm telling you it here is store in variable isName basically everything in S line up until I pause minus 1. So I'm telling it store everything here until I pause, which is the comma, minus 1. So it goes just up until the comma, but it doesn't consider the comma itself. So everything after it is not considered anything else, or is not considered part of its name. Okay, and then you can go delete. Ooh, not delete file, don't do that. And you can just say S line from 1 to I pause. So this says, basically this says do this. That's what it says. Take this and just delete. Don't care what. Just as long as it's delete. Oh man. Don't save. But yeah, that's what it's saying. And then ih becomes string to int, and we can go S line. Why can we go S line? Because this is all that's left, and it will consider this the end of the line. It will not continue because this to it is a paragraph. This is one line. This is line. This is next line. That's next line. That's next line. Delphi is smart enough to figure all of that out on its own. So it just says convert that last 2 digits into a number. Now what we can say is if ih is more or equal to 18, then begin. And we can say rates is more or equal to 18, that's rate senior dot lines dot add, and we can go isName because we just want to display the name. And if you want to display the age as well, you can go plus into string ih plus, and just add this. Alright, that is if you want to do that. And then what you can do is we can just go else begin. We can copy this line because it will do exactly the same thing if we were to just, Alright, so we are not done yet though. Now what we gotta do is we gotta go outside of the while loop and just say close file and then t file. Why should we do that, you ask? That is because if this file stays open in the background, one, it takes more RAM, and two, it can cause errors, and we don't want that. It can also affect the program in terms of the loop and stuff. And if you try and edit it again, it might give us a pop-up that says, I don't think I can open it again, because the sound file basically opens the file. Alright, so let's run it and see if we have any errors. We can remove this. Okay, so we go here. Junior Gamers is Lina Zam, which is 16, and Lily Zeller, which is 10. Senior Gamers is 18-year-old Josh and 21-year-old Maggie or Kai. When we click there, it doesn't repeat itself. That is because we told it not to. We said each time they click, it should clear. Alright, that is basically how to read from a file. Now let's just revise. What did we do? We cleared the edits. We added our text that should be there once the application starts or once the button is clicked. We assigned the file, which in fact did work by doing .. // to gamers.txt. Then we try to reset t file, and if it would give us an error, we would display this and exit the rest of the program. And then while not in the file, so while it's not the last line of the file at the very last character, do all of this. Read the line and put it in S line. Find a position of the comma in S line. Copy S line from position 1 to ipause -1. Delete the whole line up until the comma, and that includes the comma. And then get the IH by just taking what's left. After you've done that, check what IH is and just categorize them into their different places, their different rich edits. And after all of that, we have to close the file. But remember not to close the file within the while loop, because then we will get errors. So yeah, that's basically all we did. There's not that much to it. This is very hard to remember, and I recommend you guys do a couple of extra, just for fun, examples on your own to figure out how to do this better and make it work for you. But for right now, this is how you do it. If you need to watch this video again, watch it again. If you need to understand something, ask in the comments down below. I will do my best to help you. And yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all in the next video.